All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you are having an incredible day today. It's a beautiful day here in Chicago. We are going to talk about the Houston Rockets today. Now, before I get into today's video, I am posting daily content on my Houston Rockets daily channel. The link's in the bio. I'm also live streaming every single day on Twitch, COD, 2K, GTA, all the good stuff. So if you want to follow, hit me up there. I'm usually streaming every single night. If I'm not live on YouTube, probably live on Twitch. So today, guys, I want to talk about the Houston Rockets as a whole. I think the Houston Rockets are going to shock everybody next season. Now, typically what happens when you have a new GM is clear the house. So I think this team is going to look completely different next season. Now, I'm not talking about anything crazy like Christian Woods getting traded. There have been so many articles, so many tweets, so much crap about Houston Rocket trade packages for Christian Wood. They're all so bad. And then you've got NBA fans out here trying to clown Rocket fans for wanting like a first round pick for a dude who just went 21-10, as if that's an absurd take. A dude who's literally making like $13 million a year. That is the steal of free agency last season. And Christian Wood's trade value is going to be high. It is high. All right, guys. If he comes back next season and is just how he is right now, I mean, he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid at least $20 million, man. Like Duncan Robinson wants $20 million. So I think Christian Wood, it is in the Rockets' best interest to, I hate what I'm about to say. I think it's in the Rockets' best interest to eventually trade Christian Wood. Now, I don't view Christian Wood as a max contract player because the only guys I really view as max contract players are superstars. And Christian Wood, obviously, this was the first season he started in. I don't think he will be a game changer like Julius Randle kind of evolved his game over several years. Now Julius Randle's at a point in his career where you could give him the ball every possession, the last 2 minutes of the game, and he will win the game for you more often than not. Julius Randle is an upcoming superstar. Next year, the league will be put on notice. If the Knicks get one more star, everybody will know about Julius Randle because he has made great strides. Now, if Christian Wood comes out next season, he's shooting the ball lights out, he got bigger, molded his game, then we can start talking about this. But for right now, I don't have interest in paying Christian Wood $30+ million because, I mean, why do that, man? I think max contracts ruin NBA teams. They literally ruin NBA teams if it does not pan out well. If they are not a up-and-coming superstar who is helping you win games, I mean, I don't understand the max contract. So I think that's actually something that the Rockets need to look at this season. Christian Wood's 27 years old, or he will be 27 years old. He's only making $14.3 million per year. Now, the best part about Christian Wood is this was just the first year of his contract. So there's no, Christian Wood will be in a Rockets uniform at the first game next season. There's nothing to worry about for that. However, I would say if the Rockets season isn't looking promising towards the trade deadline and you're getting calls, you got to pick them up. You got to pick up the calls. Now, the Rockets, they got completely shafted in this Harden trade. I think this Harden trade is going to go down as just an absolutely brutal trade. But you got to look at the positive. It was just, it had to be done, man. He wanted out. It's just the way the NBA is now. You have these stars who basically can just run and control teams. And what the Houston Rockets did is they let James Harden control and run themselves for like 8 years. And then you get a new GM in office, you get a new system. James isn't happy. He's going to throw a fit. Then the Houston Rockets start looking bad. It just deteriorates James Harden value. It's a losing situation for everybody. And I have some tough love for James Harden. I particularly would not like to see him return in a Houston Rockets uniform. I know that is an outrageous take for probably 99% of the Houston fan base, but the way he left, man, it's just depressing, dude. Like, you're sitting out, man, it's just, I don't even want to get into that right now. It's so tough. But so basically what I was trying to get at in the beginning of this video is typically in most sports, when you have just a new front office come in, they don't ship everything out right away, but what you do see is typically an evaluation year, and then you see kind of a clearing house. Eric Gordon is a name who comes up to me that I like Eric Gordon. I like Eric Gordon. Now, he's making almost $20 million a year. Don't like Eric Gordon for that reason. But the good news is he still has value. And a first-round pick is definitely something you could get for Eric Gordon. And you could definitely get somebody young for Eric Gordon. So here's what I'm trying to get at. The Houston Rockets are in an incredible spot. They have 3 first-round picks, hopefully a top 4 pick. They've got a bunch of cap space. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to get a top 4 pick. They're going to get 2 other first-round picks. I don't know if it will beat Cade, but it doesn't even necessarily have to be Cade because either way, Rockets fans will be hyped. They'll want to see how he does. It's going to be a good player. A young, promising player is exactly what any franchise could use, and that's what the Rockets are going to get this season. So you have Christian Wood, you've got John Wall, you've got Eric Gordon, you've got your core, KPJ, Jayshawn Tate. You've got that core mix of veterans, young players, and just, let's see what this guy can do. Let's see what KPJ can be. Let's see what Christian Wood can be. And in the meantime, you've got John Wall, you've got Eric Gordon kind of holding it down. You know you're going to get consistency out of these dudes. So what I think is going to happen is the Rockets are going to make a couple of small moves in the offseason. A couple small moves. Now, I don't see them retaining David Nwaba. I honestly don't even know if they'll retain Sterling Brown because I think somebody's going to pay for Sterling Brown. Would love to have Sterling Brown back. But I do expect guys like Daniel House to possibly be shipped off in the offseason. I mean, there's not really a spot for Daniel House. We've got 3 roster spots we need to clear. They just signed Kyrie Thomas to a long-term deal. I love Kyrie Thomas. So I think that they're going to go make some small signings, maybe like your Doug McDermott, maybe even make some trades that Rashawn Holmes, they go out and they get somebody, a couple of people who can help, veterans like Doug McDermott. Then you've got guys who will help, but they have promise, they have the potential, like Rashawn Holmes. And then you see how the season goes. Give it a month, give it 2 months. You're evaluating month by month, week by week. And then 2 months into the season, you can fully evaluate your team and say, all right, we need to trade Eric Gordon, right? He doesn't have it anymore. Let's just try and get anything we can do for Eric Gordon. Maybe let's try and get an expiring contract for Eric Gordon. Let's see what we got to do. John Wall, same thing. Hopefully John Wall has an incredible season next year, which I fully think he will be. At that point, you have a lot of decisions. You could fully ship everybody out, John Wall, Eric Gordon, even Christian Wood, and you could start a full-scale rebuild with all the first-round picks we have, and next year we'll have our first-round pick. So you have that situation, and then you have the situation that I think is going to happen. You get a Cade Cunningham, or even if it's a Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, whoever it's going to be, they're going to help our team win. You get that, you make some free agent signings, you make some trades, as they said they were going to be active in the offseason. And personally, I think this team is going to be hovering right around the playoffs, right around the 8 seed for majority of the season next year. I think they'll have their ups and lows, just like every other team. They'll fall to 4, or they'll go down to 4, they'll fall to 10, 12, whatever it's going to be. But I think for the most part, you're going to see enough flashes of consistency and potential next season to be like, all right, we have a solid team, but we're probably not going to win the championship. So maybe we'll deal out Eric Gordon. Maybe we'll try to deal out John Wall. Keep Christian Wood for another year. try and get him another star and see what happens next year, because 2 years from now, they will have just a ton of cap space. Absolutely a ton of it. In the 2022-2023 season, you've just got barely anybody under contract. You'll only have like your top 3, or your top 4 are going to be John Wall, Eric Gordon, Christian Wood, and DJ Augustine. And all those guys, I mean, DJ's relatively cheap, Christian Wood's extremely cheap, and Eric Gordon and John Wall, that's the bulk right there. That's why I would love to deal away one or the other. Because either way, if you trade away Eric Gordon, it's like more minutes for Kyrie, more minutes for KPJ. Same thing with if you trade away John Wall, more minutes for KPJ, more minutes for Kyrie. But until the draft, and especially until the draft lottery, we don't really have a good idea of what direction the Houston Rockets want to go in. But I do expect a lot of the guys on the roster right now to not be necessarily cut. They might be on the G League or in two-way deals, but I expect a lot of these guys by this time next season to just not be on this roster anymore. I mean, John Wall, 2 years from now, he's going to be making, at 32 years old, $47.4 million, which is a lot of money, man. That is a lot of money. So I don't think the Houston Rockets should panic, because they're going to make moves in the offseason, and if they work out, it's awesome. We're back to relevancy. And if they don't work out, they're going to make proper moves where it's not like you're signing John Collins to a 5-year max contract going all in. I don't expect, like maybe Andre Drummond's a better example. You're out here signing Andre Drummond to a max contract, just screwing your future. That's not what the Rockets are going to do. That's not what Stone's going to do. That's not what he's about. They're going to try and get assets and value in return if they do decide to trade away some of these guys. So I expect definitely rumblings of most players on the Houston Rockets in this offseason to be traded, because honestly, all of them should be tradable except Kevin Porter Jr. I don't think KPJ has been given enough time to kind of truly see his potential. I mean, he dropped 50 and 11, 50 and 10. It was unbelievable. And you could really say the same thing with Christian Wood. I just think that they will get some calls. I don't think that they'll entertain the calls, but I do think that they'll get some calls on Christian Wood. They'll definitely get some calls on Eric Gordon. Even hopefully DJ Augustine, if they could try and find a suitor for him. DJ's a solid, reliable backup point guard for a championship team, and he just happened to find himself on this roster because of, he got traded. So altogether, you look at this Rockets team, I mean, it's just so deep. I'm so excited, like KPJ, Kyrie Thomas, KJ, Jayshawn Tate. I mean, this is going to be a very fun year, whether or not, they're the 1 seed or they're the 15th seed. They have plenty of potential that it will be flashed way more this season or next season than it was